Welcome, everybody. Can you stand for the national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to screw in a microphone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the McCall graduating class with me here this evening, and to their parents and guardians, their friends and relatives, and to the McCall faculty and staff here. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. William McCall Jr., who will be presenting the Evander French Jr. Humanitarian Award, and to Winchester School Committee member, Mr. Christian Nixon, who will be assisting me in the distribution of graduation certificates, and to Winchester High School Principal, Mr. Sean Kiley, who is here to welcome his incoming freshman class. Also with me on stage are Ms. Nunziato Bonifant and Ms. Suvak, grade 8 guidance counselors, and Ms. Lavoie and Ms. West, assistant principals. They too will be assisting in the presentation of the graduation certificates. Our featured speaker this evening, as voted by our graduating class, is someone whom the students have grown to know and respect over the last 3 years, Mr. Phil Doucette, one of our wonderful custodians at McCall. There are special thanks that I would like to extend this evening to the Grade 8 Planning Committee for all of their time and efforts in planning all of the end-of-the-year activities for our students. A large committee of parents, led by Kate Carpini, Angela Iverson, and Allison Beatis, worked exceptionally hard to organize all of this year's events. Dance and decoration chairs were Lynn Vizella and Robin Bennett. Activities chair was Cece Gordon. Food chair was Eliza O'Hara. Dance chaperone chair was Lynn Vizella and Diane Hesterberg. Washington, D.C. chair was Margaret Mack and Maria O'Connor. Canopy Lake chairs, who led a successful trip yesterday, were Marcy Pike and Kathy Mix. And in charge of everything you see before you here were Kristen Geddes and Melanie Ziozzi. I wish to thank all committee members working together to create these wonderful events, and all of the parents and community members who have supported their efforts for our 2015 McCall graduating class. And finally, I'd like to also thank our custodians and the DPW for all of their efforts in preparing for this event, specifically Mr. Jay Gill, Mr. Pete Lawson, Mr. Paul Fay, Mr. Phil Doucette, Mr. Steve Cannon, Mr. Givens Jean-Baptiste, and our head custodian, Mr. Dan Doucette. This evening's program is dedicated to our retiring staff. Ms. Carol McGrath, thank you for your 25.5 years of service. Mrs. Pat Malcolm, thank you for your 25 years of service. Mrs. Vijaya Sundram, thank you for your 17 years of service. And Ms. Beverly Daniel, thank you for your 14 years of service to the students and community of Winchester. Our entire McCall family and community will miss you greatly. We wish you and your family good health and much happiness in your retirement. Thank you to our retiring teachers. At this time, I would like to invite Michaela Wiseman and Harris Carpini, our student representatives on the McCall School Council, to the lectern to present the class gift from the class of 2019 to McCall Middle School. Harry, Michaela.
Good evening. My name is Harry Carpini, and this is Michaela Wiseman. Together we served as grade 8 representatives on the school council here at McCall. We work together with members of the administration, teachers, parents, and local business owners to get better the community of our school.
We are pleased to announce that through fundraising and the generosity of our friends and family, the class of 2019 is able to provide the school with a much-needed wireless microphone that will be used to benefit the students of McCall for many years. On behalf of our class, we would like to thank all of our teachers, the staff, and administration here at McCall for a wonderful experience.
Thank you, Michaela. Thank you, Harry. At this time, I would like to invite Superintendent McCaldiff to the podium to present this year's recipients of the Evander French Jr. Humanitarian Award.
Thank you, Mr. Gonsalves. And good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful evening here tonight. And before I present the Evander French Humanitarian Awards, I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations to the members of the 8th grade class. Good job, well done. You've been a model class for the last 6 years, and I wish you well as you move on to 9th grade. I'd also like to say congratulations to all the parents and family members for the support that you've shown your sons and daughters. In 2010, the McCall Parents Association inaugurated the Evander French Jr. Humanitarian Award to recognize 2 students, one boy and one girl, in grade 8, quote, to quote, who have answered the call to improve and enrich the lives of others. This award honors Vandy French, principal of McCall Middle School for 26 years, from 1984 to 2010. Vandy, whose vision and efforts built a community of learners and leaders who reflect his values of excellence, respect, and equity. The winners will be receiving a certificate today and will also have their names inscribed on the award plaque, which will be located outside of the main office. This year's recipients, it's my pleasure to announce this year's recipients of the Evander French Jr. Humanitarian Award, and they are Julia Marino and Kevin Glazier.
Congratulations, Julia. Very proud of you. Good job.
Congratulations. Kevin, Congratulations.
Kevin. Congratulations, buddy. Good job. Good job. Thank you, Bill. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Phil Doucette to the lectern. Each year, graduating students select a faculty or staff member to be the featured speaker. I am glad to see that Mr. Doucette could be honored in this way after his years of service to this community and the wonderful rapport he builds with students each and every year. As a chaperone on the Washington, D.C. trip, he has been able to earn the respect and love of our students. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Doucette to the podium, to the lectern.
Thank you, parents, guardians, family members, friends, for that warm welcome. Thank you, Principal Principal Gonzalez. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. It's been a pleasure working with you. On behalf of the custodians, your down-to-earth attitude, all the thanks that you've given us over the years, we very much appreciate it. And good luck to you. Thank you to my wonderful wife, who has come here today from our home in Hull to support me. You truly are my better half. I would not be the person I am today without you, and I love you. To the faculty, our wonderful teachers, your devotion to these students to prepare them for their future is unrivaled. You know, when I went to boot camp on Paris Island, you would arrive in front of a building, and it's called the receiving barracks. Above the door you go through to enter that building is a big plaque. And on that plaque it says, "Through this door pass prospects to become the finest fighting man in the world, U.S. Marines." I think there should be a plaque on the front door of this building that says, "Every morning through this doorway pass not prospects, but the finest teachers in this profession." I am in awe of you people some days. John McGeehan has a t-shirt hanging in his classroom. It simply says, "I am a teacher." What's your superpower? You people truly are superheroes. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I did not thank my fellow custodians, or as we've come to call ourselves after this winter, the men of the Siberian Division. With our leader, General Dan Doucette, and Colonel Cannon, and Major Jean-Baptiste, and I'm just a sergeant, but we all know we're the backbone of the Corps. But ladies and gentlemen, they kept these kids only 6 days out of school. Surrounding communities, towns, my niece is here also today. They had to go on Saturdays, Good Friday, and with keeping this building closed only 6 days, that was a monumental task. And besides doing that, keeping this building safe and clean through this winter, I thank you guys. I'm proud to work with you. Finally, thank you to this graduating class for giving me the honor and the privilege of speaking to you today. I am truly humbled. When we left what was at the time when we went to school, it was called junior high, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. We had a very simple ceremony. You received your certificate or the letter for whatever sport you played. Some instances, it was just mailed to your house. But today, look at all this pomp and circumstance, this grand ceremony. The only time we had this type of ceremony was at a high school graduation or college graduation. But today, your parents give you this wonderful ceremony, mostly because they love you unconditionally. You make them mad, they love you. You make a bad decision, they love you. They get mad at you, they still love you. Don't forget them to tell them that you love them too. They also do this to celebrate the success you've had over these past 3 years. And all any of us want is to see you succeed in life. What is success, really? Well, it has a lot of different meanings to different people. To some, it might mean making millions of dollars. To another, owning your own business, being elected to a political office. Or it might mean simply making a difference. And you all have it in you to become successful. And in your future, you will find that whatever you end up doing, as long as you're happy at doing it, you will find success. But remember, success comes at a price. And it's not a monetary price. No, the price for success is respect. The 3 R's, and it's not reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's respect yourselves, respect others, and responsibility for your own actions. For the past 3 years, thank you. For the past 3 years, you've respected one another. Please, continue to do so. Because remember, in the future, some of your classmates will become doctors, lawyers, if you're lucky enough, maybe even a custodian. But you remember the classmate that you ignored and you disrespected. That's the doctor that may have to save your life someday, or the lawyer that has to provide you with legal advice. So remember, respect is the price you pay for success. Remember also, on your road to success, you will fail at some things. We all have. No one can be great at everything. Just remember also that failure, it's only temporary. So just pull up your bootstraps and keep moving forward. You all have great potential in you. And I just want to read a quote from the Graveyard Book. And it has to do with potential. Bod shrugged. So, he said, it's only death. Most of my best friends are all dead. Yes, Silas hesitated. They are. And they are, for the most part, done with the world. You are not. Bod, you are alive. That means you have infinite potential. You can do anything, make anything, dream anything. You change the world, and the world will change. Potential. Once you're dead, it's gone. Over. You've made what you've made, dreamed your dream, written your name. You may be buried here. You may even walk. But potential is finished. So what do we take from that? Well, what we take from that is and most of us are older now. We've found our calling in life. And hopefully, these are the last jobs that we're going to have until we either retire or we pass on. But what it also says is that you, young people, you have your whole life ahead of you. You and your future can make anything. Dream big. Go out there and change the world. You are our future. Your families will continue to support you so that your future and ours is the best it can be. You are a great class of students. You've come together as a great team. Tonight is all about you. You've earned it, so enjoy it. Take it all in. I will miss all of you. We've all developed different relationships with each other because everybody's different. But remember, in the future, if you need somebody to talk to, you're having a bad day, and you can't speak to a friend, a parent, family member, teacher, you know where to find me. I'll give you some good advice. So please remember that. So again, I can't tell you how honored I am to be up here speaking to you, and I thank you so much for this privilege. Before I close, I have it's sort of a tradition. At the end of the day, I go through the classrooms and I change the can liners and during 7th period. And there's one class in particular, before I head out the door, they send me off. Now, I know some of you aren't familiar with where I live, but I live down on the South Shore in a small town. So I would appreciate it if all together you would give me one final send-off.
Go to home!
Thank you very much. Short and simple.
Well done. Well done. I just learned about how my students treat Mr. Doucette today. At this time, I would like to invite to the lectern Elizabeth Splain, Jessica Wu, and Nicole Costalis to present this year's yearbook to our retiring staff members. Hi, girl. You have the words?
Thank you, Mrs. Sundrum, for your 17 years of service to the McCall community as an English teacher. Through your dedication and commitment, you have touched the lives of almost 2,000 students at McCall. You have demonstrated through your words and actions how you truly care about kids and have empowered them to ignite their passions and help them begin a journey to one day achieve their dreams. Congratulations on your retirement. You will be missed.
Thank you, Mrs. Daniel, for your 14 years of service to the McCall community as an English teacher. You always knew what I needed. When I needed a friend, you paired me up. When I needed to stretch my mind, you recommended a special book just for me. When I hit a roadblock in writing, you helped me find my voice. When I asked why, you showed me how the universe works. Justice, community, history, compassion, poetry, and art. You made me think. You made me wonder. You made me care. Thank you. I would like to invite Miss Sundrum and Miss Daniels to the podium right now.
I was truly overwhelmed by your yearbook dedication this week, and by many of you coming in to say thanks and farewell. But I have to tell you that you students are actually a teacher's greatest inspiration. We feel like musicians in a concert. The more you respond, the better we get. I love it when you nod, you take notes, you ask questions, and you even laugh at my bad jokes. I can see you are engaged and invested. So you are my true inspiration. From your book projects, Chloe Pienaar, don't forget to pick up Edward Tulane when you get back from your journey. To the lesson plan that I received today from Caitlin Wiseman for retirement. You gotta love it. Take naps, travel, and follow your dreams. So thank you, and you keep your fires burning. One more from A.A. Milne. We'll be friends forever, won't we, Pooh? asked Piglet. Even longer, Pooh answered. Good luck.
Not a dry eye in a place tonight. Congratulations on reaching another milestone in your academic lives, class of 2015 from McCall and class of 2019 from the high school in 4 short years. We're all here tonight to celebrate each and every one of your achievements, your perseverance, and your efforts. Graduates, you should know that your moms and dads are very proud of you today. Might be a good time to ask them for something like money. They have high hopes for you, and they believe in you. And you are making them proud by showing what you can do. Take a look at them now and you can see them smiling and snapping photos so they can record this moment forever. Today is an important day for you and for them. Today would be a good day to hug them and to thank them for supporting you, because as much as this is your achievement, this is also the achievement of the people who care about you. That means your mom, your dad, your stepmom, your stepdad, your grandparents, yes, your sisters and brothers too, and all the other people who care about you. They want you to be your best and to live up to your potential. With every year, you have become a little more independent. You have had some great times this year, and maybe you've even gone through some tough times, but you did it and you succeeded. You're ready for that next step. I would simply ask that you make every effort to make your next year even better. Remember that you don't have to follow the crowd all the time. Do the right thing, even when no one's looking. Study hard, and remember, you're investing in yourself with every test you take and every book you read. And finally, don't be in too big of a hurry to grow up. These are some great times in your life. Don't rush past them. There are great things coming, and just as your parents are proud, each one of you should feel proud of yourself. So congratulations to all the graduates, congratulations to the parents, and finally congratulations to the teachers and everyone else who helped our graduates reach here today. It has been a pleasure to be your principal. You're truly a wonderful group of young men and women. Thank you. At this time, before it rains, of course, we will be presenting the graduation certificates to the class of 2019. Ms. Lavoie will be reading each student's name this evening, and I would ask that you hold your applause until all the students have received their certificates after each of our 2 sections. So after every one of these students receives his or her certificate, we can applaud, and then we'll do the same after this side receives their certificates. So let us get into certificate distribution mode.
Ready?
You want to be over here, don't you? The kids are facing this way. We're ready. Bring them in.
Olivia Abbott. Jillian Alejo. Catherine Alexic. Christian Alicia. Lily Armstrong.
Slow down, slow down.
Ethan August. Margot Austin. Nate Badger. Dan Barsky. Stephen Bassett. Christopher Bayedes. Hayden Bean. Christine Belinsky. Christian Beliveau. Colin Bergstrom. Nicholas Burns. Chloe Bertocci. Ashley Bandari. Isabella Bianchini. Victoria Bianco. Julia Blad. Sarah Blad. Shelley Bloomsack. Adam Bockoff. Caroline Bonnet. Alexander Boswell. Aria Bauer. Emma Brennan. Lydia Broderick. Marco Bruno. Bryn Burke. Nathaniel Burns. Nolan Bubbles Butler. Emma Cabana. Conrad Cachola. Sam Cagnetta. Lila Cahill. Kate Caperin. Sydney Caplow. Stamati Karyanopoulos. Alexandra Carnes. Harris Carpini. Erin Carter. Grace Casey. Spencer Casey. Sydney Cerveni. Saba Shalant. Tiffany Chen. Rachel Chesterton. Lauren Chilton. Ariba Chowdhury. Francesca Christopher. James Chung. Sydney Ciardi. Kelly Ciotti. Allison Cipro. Joseph Clark. Hope Clevenger. John Cluley. Scott Cluley. Lana Clifford. Luna Colozzo. William Conlon. Katharina Cordoba. Victoria Correa. Michael Costa, Nicole Costales, Emily Costello, Brett Cronin, Emily Q, Arson Cunningham, Brendan Curran, Natalie Daly, Victor Davis, Stephen Delaney, Michael Deming, Andrew Di Benedetto, Giro Di Biasi, Alexander Dickinson, Grace Dobbins, Maggie Dobbins, Jenna Doherty, Brendan Donovan Tiernan, Eric Dew, Emma Dubman, Carly Downs, Michael Drew, Maya Driggers, Emma Driscoll, Elise Drummond, Emma Duncan, Marin Durant, Henry Dabowski, Corey Easton, Dylan Egan, Sophie Airbar, Alex Ehrenthal, Ryan Ellis,
There it is.
James Evans, Claire Fodness, Thomas Fair, Jake Falkenberg, Angelina Folletti, Timofey Fazulin, Christopher Ferguson, Kay Felicki, Tony Fiorentino, Anna Flaherty, Jada Flores, Nick Forcioni, Ayaz Franz, Heather Freight, Katie Fucillo, Flora Fung, Dan Gable, Michaela Galanti, Lily Gao, Kylie Gately, Lucas Gabolis, Avery Geddes, Luke Gilgun, Mark Judici,
Kevin Glazier.
Kevin Glazier, right?
Kevin Glazier. Say Kevin Glazier.
Kevin Glazier,
Now
Mark Judici,
Thank you.
Tate Gordon,
Tate, thanks.
Oliver Goslin, Elizabeth Gruel, Mateo Gierman, Teddy Guthrie, Juan Carlos Haddad Baruki,
Right here.
Madeline Hamilton, Dylan Harrington, Kate Harrington, Bryce Hayes, Grace Hesterberg,
Grace.
Rosalind Hodges,
Great to see you.
Lucas Hertdorfer,
Hi, Lucas.
James Hogan,
It's great here, buddy.
Mark Holber, Allison Holmes, John Houle, Andrea Wang, Kelly Hunter Lynch, Robert Hires, Eiler Iverson, Tyler Johnson, Isaac Caper, Matthew Keating, William Keating, Caroline Kelly, Michael Kelly, Teva Kenny, Taylor Kenrich, Marina Kokorian, Louis Ketsios, Kevin Kagani, Victoria Kagani, Joan Kiley, Colin Kimball, Sylvie Kimpton, James Kingston,
Great year, buddy.
Kathleen Kirkpatrick, Henry Noel Finn, Dion Karofoulos, Neil Krishna, Daniel Kwong, Caroline Cullman, Gabe Kwan, Alan Kwong, Austin Kwong. That's okay.
We good?
Samson Lamberth. Jack Lampert. Emily Lang. Sarah Lang. Annika Lanou. Bailey Lazarus. Jason Lee. Jessica Lee. Michael Lee. Jack Ledger. Joseph Lepore. Andrea Luang. Andrew Lau. Mitchell Lockwood. Kelvin Lubega. Sean Lucy. Sarah Ma. Jake Mabardi. Alex McDonald. Nathan McDonald. Mackenzie Mack. John Luca Maffei. Beatrice McGee. Caroline Manganaro. Alexander Manning. Michael Marcella. Julia Marino. Delaney Markham. Hannah Markham. Caitlin Martin. Fiona Martino. Artiomi Martirosian. Katia Masaragian. Juliana Masiello. Patrick Massman. Leo Masak Donacimento. Benjamin Monmalou. Hamish McCallion. Robert McCarrick. Joe McCarran. William McCarran. Ryan McCarthy. Jack McDonough. Aislinn McElhaney. Ryan McGeehan. William McPhee. Kathleen Maney. Molly Menunis. Sophia McCauley. Luke Mix. Aria Mohanty. Claire Maloney Collenberg. Julia Monsini. Alexi Monty. Val Morlock. Christian Morris. Sarah Morrison. Juliette Mortensen. Luca Nelson. Catherine New. Christopher Nicholas. Jack Nixon. Charles Nowell. Jillian O'Brien. Liam O'Connor. Selena O'Connor. Kenny Offner. Julia Oganowski. Catherine O'Hara. Mika Ort. Sarita Patacone. Daniel Palermachuk. Nicholas Palmer. Megan Penier. Shandi Patel. Avery Pavillon. Myson Phillips. Grace Picarillo. Raymond Pike. Bridget Potter. Catherine Potter. Emma Pruitt, Stella Sikiakis, William Rapopole, John Reed, Maceo Richards, Emily Richardson, Jared Richardson, Matthew Romagna, Leanne Romera, Ella Ross, Elizabeth Rosemaneth, Joel Rubenmeyer, Rick Sarkar, Vincent Scally, Matt Schneller, Evan Scully, Ryan Scully, Michael Shank, Garrett Smith, John Smythe, Allison Soper, Grace Spadaro, Christina Sparrows, Elizabeth Splain, Sophia Sploska, Abigail Sprague, Brooke Stevenson, Albert Shagru.
We have to wait a minute. She's reloaded. Tell a joke.
I don't have a joke.
You don't have a joke?
So baby Sia walks into a club.
Good to go.
Jasper Tank, Paris Taliadoris, Adrian Tam, Michael Tavilla, David Taylor, Alexander Tegmark, Gregory Thomas, Andrew Troisi. That's Troisi. Andrew Thompson, Richard Tian, Caroline Tully, Joy Vaith, Drew Vaughn, Anna Villalobos Topit, Josie Volmeyer, Gina Vazella, Stephen Vazella, Philip Vukovic, Nicholas Wallace, Michael Walsh, Sarah Walsh, Nina Wattenberg, Richard Welch, Elizabeth Wheeler, Olivia Wojtrowski, Emma Wickline, Vihara Vikramasinghe, Peter Wilcox, Sarah Williamson, Michaela Weissman, Jessica Wu, Camille Shing, Alicia Yang, William Yang, Aaron Zakarian, Afshin Zarin, Alexander Zhang, Brandon Zhang, Guilin Zhang, Guichi Zhang, Kelvin Zhang, Maria Zhang, Rachel Zhang, and Catherine Ziozzi.
Thank you. Thank you. Parents, guardians, family members, colleagues, and friends, I want to thank you all for celebrating this special day with the McCall class of 2015. You should all be extremely proud of the students that sit before us today. Many of those in the audience may attest to the tremendous growth they have seen in these students, both academically and socially over the last 3 years. But it has been in the last several months that we have seen a strong bond being built amongst the students of this class. And we hope that they have as much fun as that kid. We hope that this friendship, trust, and support continue as these students continue on to Winchester High School or a different school next year. Remember to support one another's strength and celebrate one another's individuality. At this time, I'd like to welcome Winchester High School Principal, Mr. Sean Kiley, to the lectern to welcome next year's freshman class and the graduating class of 2019.
I was definitely the guy on that hill right there in my day. Hello and good evening, everyone. As Mr. Gonsalves said, my name is Sean Kiley. I'm the extremely proud principal of Winchester High School, and this is my first year as principal of WHS, and I want to assure you how proud I am to be part of this community. I'm honored to be part of this graduation ceremony, and I thank Mr. Gonsalves and the administration for having me come tonight. And I'd like to extend my sincerest congratulations to the students and their families for this memorable moment as you graduate middle school, McCall Middle School. So, as I was watching some of the faces of the students during any important event in someone's life, such as this one, there's a moment when time kind of seems to stop, and everyone realizes the magnitude of you know what's just about to happen. And these moments to me are the most precious because you know they not only represent something great, but the beginning of something greater. And you know, I hope the students tonight. This has been a great event, and there's been tons of energy, and I hope you take the time just to think a little bit about the hard work that's led you to these seats tonight. It's an achievement, and I hope you can think about the people who've helped you get here tonight. I hope you can see your success. So it probably seems like just yesterday when you started McCall Middle as 6th graders, and here you are gathering for the last time as McCall Middle School students before you move on to high school. Even though you've grown together over the past 3 years as a class, I'm quite certain you've also grown into unique individuals, and I think that's awesome. And I think it's what we should focus on as you graduate tonight and move on to high school years. Your individualism and uniqueness. There's no doubt that you have the talents and gifts that others would be respectfully envious of. So it's my hope over the next 4 years in high school that you learn to conquer yourself, you learn your strengths and weaknesses, and I hope you learn to love the person that you are. Everyone sitting to the left and the right of me has something to offer at the high school level. All of you have the potential to make positive contributions in some way. And I challenge you to think about the reality within you. You have the power to transform. Those of you coming to Winchester High School in the fall, I look forward to working with you and watching you reach the goals that you've set for yourself. And please know that my door is wide open to you if you have a need. Those of you who may be attending other high schools somewhere else, well, to me, you're from Winchester, Massachusetts, and your family. And I look forward to watching you reach your goals that you've set for yourself from a distance. And please know that my door is always open to you. You will be the graduating class of 2019. In your faces tonight, I see the promise of the future. Congratulations once again, and thank you for letting me be part of it.
Well said, and thank you so much for being here. Before we conclude this evening's ceremony, We would be remiss if we did not recognize and thank someone for his 8 years of service to every student, staff member, and parent in the Winchester Public Schools. His dedication and commitment to the students and families of Winchester have served to strengthen our resolve and mission to teach all students. Please join me in recognizing Superintendent William McCall Jr. in his final year as superintendent here in Winchester. Bill does not like to be recognized in public, and that's why I purposely waited until the very end. He thought he was going to make it through. After this ceremony, Grade 8 students and chaperones are invited to proceed into the McCall cafeteria, which looks very different than the place you ate lunch in every day this year, for the Grade 8 graduation dance. Parents, guardians are asked to pick up your 8th grader in front of the school promptly at 10 p.m. Thank you all for coming. Congratulations, class of 2015, and good night.